Yep, you're good.
Alright, hey everybody. So, we're going to be cutting this synthetic emerald for the church charity that will be going on, not right now, but soon, at our church. It's the Lottie Moon auction, and what they do is they auction off things, and with the money they buy Bibles to get into countries that people can't get Bibles in. So, pretty good charity. But yeah, we're going to cut this synthetic emerald, and I'm going to try to do a square cut, and it's called cross form, and it's got 77 facets with 8 girdle facets. I think it'll look good. We probably won't finish it tonight because obviously you have to transfer things over and everything like that. But yeah, I think it's looking pretty good so far, and I figured we'd do that. So, and if anybody's got any questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability. But other than that, and Laura, you're watching?
Yep.
Alright, so you can see the questions for me.
Yep.
It works out good for me. It'd be nice to actually do something for the people out in North Carolina too in the coming future. Maybe cut some things for some shops up there and give them to them to help them kind of restock up. Kind of a nice thing to do. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go along with it. But how's everybody doing today? Everybody having a good time with everything that's going on in the world? I sure hope you are. Because there's a lot of stuff going on right now. We're going to take this 1200 grit lap, take that off, and put that 800 or 8000 grit lap. Turn that on right there. Get that water flowing. Turn it to 3. There we go. We're just going.
LJ says hi.
Hey LJ, how you doing? How's everything in your world? Hopefully it's good. This thing's starting to turn out pretty too. I do have some real rough that is sitting there waiting. We got some really pretty amethyst, real clear, real dark purple, natural amethyst. I got it from Joe Henley, rough, and then we got some blue apatite, and I mean this is really blue. I think we're gonna do a square cut with that one. And then let's see what else we got. Nope, not all. And then we got this nice pretty little tourmaline. We're gonna do a little tourmaline cut on there. And I think that's it for all the natural stuff. But those aren't going. Hello, Arlie.
Yep.
Hello, Arlie. How you doing today? And for those who like faceting, lapidary, things like that, we would do gemstone handled knives. I haven't done really much of that in a while because I've been focusing on learning this and getting ready for everything that's coming, especially Christmas, because I know there's some people that want some stuff like this for Christmas. But if you like stuff like that, stick with us, subscribe. We try to live stream at least once a week, usually on Thursdays or Fridays. It just depends on what's going on. But yeah. And Laura,
Yes.
do you think you could bring me some of the other faceted stones I've done since the live stream?
Yeah.
That would be the topaz and the one for Lottie Moon, and then bring the lapis knife too. And we can show off the lapis knife that we're gonna do for Lottie Moon. And that's a good way to kind of give ties as well, because I think you can also give ties through your talents. So it makes money to get some Bibles out there. It's a good deal, you know.
This is cool.
Well, thank you. And we'll show some stuff off, and hopefully that'll be even cooler for you. But yeah, we got quite a bit going on the next few weeks. We got the Lottie Moon auction, and then we got a show coming up. It'll be the Renaissance Fair. I think it's 2 weekends.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the lapis lazuli knife.
Here.
Let's just show it. That's the lapis lazuli knife.
Here, give me your light, please. Un momento. There you go.
So, and we got Renaissance Fair coming up. That'll be next month, right after the election. I think it's like the weekend right after the election is the Renaissance Fair. So that's probably going to be a pretty busy time, just in general, you know.
And that's the emerald, not emerald, but
You've already shown that one before. That's where's the topaz? The big one I cut.
I have all of them. I'm sure.
I want to show the big one.
This one.
I'm excited about that one. Yeah, I'm excited. That one's one of my favorites. I just cut that, and it's beautiful. Like, how long did I cut that? Maybe a week ago.
Something like that.
Like I finished it a week ago, but it's very pretty.
This one.
Oh yeah, that one's for Lottie Moon too. So, and that's synthetic spinel. That's synthetic blue spinel, I believe. Thank you, darling. Thank you, darling.
Arlie says, "Wow."
Thank you. Thank you, Arlie. So, are y'all into lapidary, or is this just something you saw and you thought you'd look at it? Let me know. And if y'all are into lapidary, I can even tell you some good people to go to pick up some equipment and rough and stuff like that. Probably should do a video on that too, because that'd be like a pretty good video to kind of tell people about, you know. It seems like this not wanting to cut all the way down. Let me take my monocle here out. Look at it. For some reason that legitimately does not want to cut. Go back. See if that takes it down. Worst thing that happens is yep, I think that was what was it. I was cutting the one a little bit further. I must have skipped that one on accident. That's another thing I'll tell you to be careful with when you're faceting. These diagrams, just for some reason, after a while, my eyes do not see that dash in between the numbers. And once that dash in between the numbers disappears, all the numbers just jumble up for me. So it's not the easiest time reading them sometimes. Anybody ask anything?
Arlie says, "I'll make sure to come back to your live stream later."
Okay, well take care, Arlie. Did anybody ask anything?
Not yet, no.
No questions? All right, cool. Which I don't know how long I'll be live streaming tonight, just because I've already kind of wore my back out today, and I do have some, I wouldn't say major, but I have some prominent back problems, and so I'll probably be only live for about an hour, and then I'll probably call it for today. Let's see if there we go. See how that looks. I might be in the previous one again. Yep, that was it. That was the issue. Oh. Alright, and then let's do 69. Now what we're doing is we're taking and kind of pre-polishing this. So this is an 8,000 grit lightning lamp, and what it will do is it will pre-polish this. Now pre-polish, even though it looks pretty and it looks polished, once we put it on that 50,000 grit lamp, I think you're going to see a real impressive difference, like a real impressive difference. But when you're pre-polishing, you need to try to get every last bit of the scratches you can see out of it. So that's what we're trying to do now. Just get every last bit of scratch we can out of it. And then we'll move on to the polishing lamp. We need to keep going a little further. Which I know we got some geodes that we need to cut open and do some shorts with here again soon. We bought them specifically for that in Franklin, and just haven't got to it. Yeah, everything like that. Which again, I think, I mean, even if it's like a 10-year journey to do something like this, because I'm extremely slow. Hey Arlie. So I think it's an extremely slow journey, but I think it would be good to for the families that lost people during the hurricane to cut some kind of synthetic gemstone or something like that and find a way to present it to them, or give it to them as a, you know, a nice thing to say we're sorry for your loss. And especially since we have a bunch of, you know, business acquaintances and stuff like that up in North Carolina, since we're so close to them, you know. It just, when we heard about how bad it was up there, and we go up there every year, it just kind of, I don't know, it just kind of struck close to home, and it'd be nice to do something nice for them. Can't do much, but what I can do is hopefully at least do something nice for them, do something good. So if other faceters, if that's something maybe they would be interested in doing with me, that might be a fun little way of trying to help people. But I mean, even if not, if it, you know, it might be just a good little thing for me to look into. Thank you, Arlie. Is that Harley?
Arlie, A-R-E-L-I.
Arlie. I didn't want to pronounce your name wrong. Yeah, I mean, I think it would just be a good thing for us to do. And especially the area that it got hit, it's like huge gemstones Like, not as in like gemstones, but you know what I mean. It's a big place for people to get gemstones in America, and we live in South Carolina, and the veins there's some mountains in South Carolina, but not much. But the veins of gemstones, they actually run down into South Carolina from the Appalachians. So it'd be nice to, I don't know. It's North Carolina, we're South Carolina. You know, as soon as the storm hit, and we live towards the coast of South Carolina, as soon as the storm hit, you just saw people pack up and head up there, and our church took in donations. It's just, as much as we have a good rivalry between us, they're still our sister state, Ooh, this is looking pretty, y'all. This is starting to look real good. See, I love faceting. I love cutting lapidary in general, just cutting gemstones in general, but for some reason, I think it's because I've always seen this type of gemstones like as pinkies up fancy, and now that I'm cutting them, it's me doing something I never thought I would get to do or even be fancy enough to do, And not only that, but I can do it and do it for other people, especially in the family. So it's awful nice to get this kind of thing and be able to do it. And especially with a kid like myself, the only thing I ever thought I was going to be growing up was a Marine, And I did join the Marine Corps. I am a Marine, but still, going from stick figures and then to the Marine Corps, not really doing any kind of artistic anything at all. And then
It says like and subscribe.
thank you so much, Arlie. I appreciate it. And I would like to do some giveaways in the future when it comes to these faceted gemstones. Granted, they'll probably be synthetic, but I would like to do some giveaways in the future. And we do have a friend here that does like jewelry smithing and stuff like that, Jacob. And he owns a jewelry store. And I'm not saying this is going to happen at all. But maybe one day he might want to help out and maybe help with a little giveaway in some way. Who knows? But really good fella, really good guy. And his store is actually called Jacob's Jewelry. Now let's take this 800 grit lap off, and we'll put the 50,000 grit on. Now, this is just one set of facets, right? And for every one set of facets, I'm going to do those 3 plates. Well, 4 if you include in this rough cut plate, the 600 grit. And what that does is kind of get you a nice good preform. And what we'll do is we'll hit it with the little rough cut plate, right? And get it like our little initial facets in there, and then we'll polish it up and move it where we need to move it and stuff like that. But I usually do it like that so I don't wear down my plates as well. because you can wear down, and I found that's out the hard way. You can wear down your plates pretty quickly if you're not careful. So let's go ahead and put it on 3. Close our little barrier here. Pardon about the squeak. Get some of that water running and get the machine on. Let's get this cutting. So Arlie, do you do any cutting yourself? Do you do any lapidary or faceting or anything like that?
She said, I'm surprised you don't have more lights.
Yeah, well, we're doing it in kind of a spare room. And to be honest, we're kind of new to everything and doing everything in here. But yeah, there's not much actual room.
No, and saying lights and stuff like video lights.
Oh, I thought you said lights.
No,
Lights.
lights.
Okay. Lights. Oh, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I hope people are watching and enjoying, though, at least. It's probably because I don't ask people to like and subscribe. But yeah, I guess that's a good cue. If you like this kind of thing, if you like lapidary or just seeing some nice pretty things, make sure to like and subscribe. It does help us out. And hopefully in the future it'll help you out with some stuff and be able to get you some nice cool stuff. Let's see. That's a nice pretty, that's pretty gemstone right there. Even though it's synthetic emerald, I get it.
He said, I'll be back. I'm going to go subscribe.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I know it's synthetic, but it's really pretty stuff. This is just, I'm really surprised with how well some of this synthetic stuff can look. And to be honest, natural emerald, it is extremely rare to come across eye clean natural emerald, natural emerald. And that's just something I've seen looking at like the gem rough auctions and Joe Henley and stuff like that. You do come across it. Like Joe Henley's got some. They're pretty expensive, but I mean, you pay for quality, right? You pay for what you get. But it is kind of one of those things where you're just like, you can see some inclusions in them, and I've just come to learn over time that you just really don't find any that's perfectly eye clean, and if you do, they're extremely small. Which I might go on Joe Henley and get me some emerald rough and cut it, you know, some natural emerald. You ask my wife and I love that stuff. I love emerald. And Laura, what's your favorite clear stone? I already know, but still.
My favorite clear?
Yeah. Yeah, Facet and rough, tanzanite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice to. We actually got her a nice, pretty tanzanite too. You want to show them? It's tucked away.
Up.
It's locked up. You gonna let it out?
When you get to cutting it, yeah. Till then, it's staying in there.
A live stream tanzanite extravaganza. Is that what we should do? Faceting my wife's gemstone.
That should be
A private one, you think?
one. Yep. You gotta concentrate.
don't distract me from me. Every 1,000 likes will mess it up a little bit. Take some carrot away from it. How about that?
Look, I'll throw a marshmallow at you.
I'll catch it. Oh man. But yeah, hopefully we can do a lot more cool stuff. I do want to get back into cutting some more gemstone handled knives, but now that it's getting colder and the shop out there doesn't have AC, well, it doesn't have any kind of, it's just a tin shed really with some power run out there. But since it's like that, it gets very bitterly cold out there, and I think I'm just going to be inside faceting during the winter. Plus, I don't tend to move very well during the winter when it comes to my back, so it's one of those things. It's starting to look pretty. Let's see. 975. We're just going to hit it little by little. Anybody say anything?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. Yeah, this is turning out to be a very pretty stone, and it's actually the first time I've cut synthetic emerald, and it's looking pretty good. Now I do see some things, some facets I may have to go over again. You can get lost in something like this. I'm telling you, some of these gemstones you can just get lost in, and I know I gotta look this up. But I think there's some levels of heaven. The layers of heaven have gemstone. Which I know that's probably like, well, why are you talking about that? And it's because when I eventually do get there, I want to. The Lord said you'll have some jobs to do. I didn't say specifically what you'll have, you know, there's no like, you know, description in the Bible of what jobs you'll actually have. But I would hope and I would pray that one of those would be cutting gemstones for people's crowns in heaven. Might be a pretty fun thing to do. Now, whatever he tells me to do, I'll obviously do. I'm just saying, it'd be pretty fun. Nevertheless. Let's see. We're going to check this out underneath the light a little bit more. I'm going to take this. Just wipe it off a little more. And I'm doing this so I can just see what we got, you know. I want to go back and cut something that doesn't need to be cut. It may be just, you know, a speck of something on there. But I definitely want to, sorry about that, inspect it. So that way I don't.
I always ask you, do you know when your next live stream is going to be?
Not usually. It's all, I mean, it's either Thursday or Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It really just depends. So Laura's pregnant and with everything going on, you know, I usually shoot for Thursdays though at 8 p.m. But recently it's been either Thursdays or Fridays. So, see, like right there, I see one, and it's this far off facet right here. I see that. That needs to be touched up. But other than that, I don't see much. There's another one. right across from each other. A few of them up top, right across there. So let's see. We start 63. Do we have a pen?
A pen?
A pen, yeah. A pen.
What color?
I don't care. Just a pen. Any pen will do.
She said, great, I'll try to be in here every live stream you do.
Awesome, Harley. I appreciate that. We got our first diehard fan. Other than Mama Source and Odd Cat. My buddy Laverne. Laverne, yeah. Me and him's been buddies for Lord knows how long. 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. Really good guy. And when he's in here, he always makes it a fun time. So, oh no, it actually isn't down. See, this is where I get confused too. When you're faceting, right? You need, so this number here is down here where it's going to touch the lap, right? See, I even got myself confused there. But yes, that's how it goes. So when I'm looking at these, right, I'm looking at these, and I need to go the opposite of that, right? So 63, let's see, 63, 69, right? But I need to go opposite of that. So that would be like the early ones, 3, 9, things like that, 9, 15. Okay, all right, so we're going to start there. And we're going to have to work our way. But here's the thing that's kind of a bummer. We're going to have to work our way from the 8,000 back to the 50,000, which is okay. But still, it's just back step, and then forward step. But I like, and I'll probably cut some of this away in our next facets, our next group of facets. But still, if I don't do it, I feel like I'm being lazy. And if there's one thing that I am not down for, is being lazy. You know what I mean, y'all? Let's see if that touched it up. Nope, still need to go a little further down. And I've also found that with your digital angle, so I got the DAD for the Ultratech, and it's a digital angle dialogue. I found that if my facets aren't coming all the way down to the bottom, but I can't really cut more real estate away from the stone itself, if I just move the DAD to where this dial here, see how it's reading like that? Well, if it reads, I don't want to move it up too far because even a little bit's a lot. So let's say we're cutting at 419 for whatever reason, but it's not cutting all the way to the bottom. I'll move it to like 430, 420, somewhere around there, and then it'll usually cut to the bottom. Now it's the opposite when you're moving up in the stone, right? So you got little tips here. If they're still somewhat not polished, right, not cut well, what you do is you move the angle down further, right? So instead of doing the 419, 430, I'm going to go ahead and drop it down to the 44.0. Does that make sense? Hope it does. I hope I'm explaining that right. Let's see. Like that. That's just cleared some of that up. which is wonderful at the tip there. Some of it, but not all of it. So we have to go back and just hit it again until it's all the way done. Right? Ow. Never. Never. Oh. Hit my knuckles against the wood. I'll teach that wood. Sit there being all splintery. How dare you? Yeah. But it's really taking it off really pretty. I'm going to have to hit it back up with the 50,000 grit though. But who cares, because it's really worth it, at least to me. I'm getting it look like it should. So we're going to 27 now. We're just going to hit that up again. And it might be good to try some designs that people don't really try. Might even do some videos on those. Mainly because since I'm still new, it takes me forever to cut a gemstone all the way. And I definitely don't want to have people having to wait a few weeks just for me to finish the gemstone. And then it just sitting in my dop here forever is not good either, because, you know, that means I can't work on other stones. But maybe do videos of them would be good. Some weird and wacky designs. And if the community grows large enough, have people maybe make their own designs, send them in, and let's see if we can cut them and make them into something. That'd be fun to do. I got so many ideas, but I'm going to be honest with you. With the baby coming, I don't know how much time we'll have to do them.
Well, when he gets older, more in a routine, we should have more time.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, that baby's going to be something else. If he's anything like his daddy, he's going to be a handful. He's going to be always wanting to go and do. I want to go fishing. Son, it is raining out.
It is.
That's the time when fish bite.
It's 23 degrees outside. You can't go fishing.
You can go fishing. You may not catch fish, but you can go fishing. That was my argument all the time. I may not catch nothing, but at least I can go.
That's why I kind of wish we lived by the river. But yet I don't, because we flood.
Yeah, we would flood if we lived by the river here, for sure. And it would be almost constantly.
Daniel was asking, what is that?
This is synthetic emerald. And what we're doing is we're faceting this gemstone here, or this synthetic emerald, for a church auction called Lottie Moon. And what we do at the church auction is we'll auction things off in order to buy Bibles to send them into countries that people can't readily get Bibles. That way, in the hopes that they'll get saved, read the Bible and get saved. So that's what we're doing here. And we're doing a cross form cut, which I'm praying it turns out good. As long as I do the right things here. And the whole process is called faceting. I don't know if you know that or not, but I'll just tell you anyways, you know. But we have some finished faceted stones over here. I'll show you this beautiful topaz here. Is it showing? You want here? You got my light? There you go. We got that beautiful topaz there that I cut the other day. And I love it because I cut it not to the RI factor, which is the refraction index factor of it, so the light doesn't refract off of it. And it's mainly because there were so many inclusions, I would lose more carat weight cutting it like that than I would anything else, you know what I mean? And I would lose too much stone. And I really wanted to finally get a big natural stone. That was my goal out of that one. So I was like, you know what? Let's just take RI factor out of it, right? We're just going to do a standard round brilliant with that thing. And I'm telling you, it shows the full, it shows everything. You know, it doesn't refract light so much that it blinds you from seeing the design. And I thought it was really cool. I thought it turned out really well. But that's just me. It'd be nice to hear what other people think about it, stuff like that. Let's see. I think we're going to go with 63. Let's see what 63 brings us. Ooh, I think I was right on point for that. Ooh, I was too. That makes me happy. When you get something like this and you do it right, that makes me really happy. Especially when you think you ain't going to do it right. Let's take our finger smudge off of that.
Excuse me.
Okay, alright. Doing another little check. Come on. Towel fell down. Yep, okay, alright. So, it looks good now. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take that 50,000 grit lap and we're going to put it back on there. Pardon for the sound. We're going to take that 50,000 grit lap and put it back on there. There we go. And then, hopefully, with that, this set of facets will be done. And we can move on to our next. And what we'll be doing today is cutting the pavilion. And it would be better to do this like in a video, obviously, so I can kind of get close-ups and everything like that for you. Since I can't really take it out the DOP or anything, I'll misalign it. But when we actually film it, I can get a close-up of the camera with it, and you can see all the like little tiny facets being made into it. But we'll definitely try to show you as best as we can as the process moves along. But it's definitely coming together very well, I will say that. And believe it or not, actually synthetic stuff is getting out there on the market a lot. Granted, there's people that will sell you synthetic and tell you it's natural, and I think a lot of times that comes with they may not even know, because synthetic stuff's just, some of that stuff's just that good nowadays that you really, with your blind eye, you might not even be able to tell. But a lot of these people will buy from like overseas, and they'll buy what they think is, you know, the real stuff, and it's really just synthetic. So a lot of times they're lied to. That's why if you go to a jewelry store and they haven't had it, you know, certified in any way, or they don't have somebody that can kind of tell in any way, then they may sell you something thinking genuinely it's the natural thing, and it may not be. Now there's some that will try to, you know, lie to you and stuff like that in the United States jewelry stores. But I've also noticed, because I've had a friend of mine, he got a beautiful piece of tourmaline. Huge piece. You know, it's supposed to be in a commercial tourmaline cut, right? And a commercial tourmaline cut's a fairly easy cut, okay? But it was so far off that it was even missing facets on the bottom part, which is how some of that light shines back through the top part, and you get that glint all throughout the stone, right? It was missing facets at the bottom of it, and I think altogether he was missing like 10 facets throughout the stone. And I was trying not to be mean, but I was like, man, I don't know if just people weren't looking when they were doing this or something, but I mean, it was not pretty at all. And he's like, well, do what you can. He told me that 25% or 20% carrot loss is acceptable, which is of the original weight carrot loss. And I think I started cutting, it was like 10 carrots, somewhere around there, maybe 11. And when I got done with it, it was like 6 point something. I mean, but the angles were off completely, missing facets, things like that. And then I had to recut the stone to realign it, because even the cuts, like, you know, flat like this, right? You got a flat stone that's like this. They were pinched in like this and bowed out like this. And then on the other one, it would be like this. And it would just all the way up like that. And it was really tough. And then I was so nervous about bringing it back to him. I was like, because I thought he was going to be so disappointed in it, because it took me 2 weeks to do it. I was, you know, nervous about it because it definitely went over the acceptable carrot loss weight. You know what I mean? And he's like, dude, you did wonderful. He's like, that's why I gave it to you, is because I knew you would worry about it as if it was your own. So it kind of made me feel good. He's like, dude, I don't even care about the carrot loss. You made it look so good. You know, it looks fine. Don't worry about it. You know. But I was definitely stressing. And you can ask my wife, I'd be in here just worried about that thing. Laura,
Yeah.
can you bring me your phone? Well, I just didn't know if I was missing anything. I didn't want to miss what people were saying. Because I have to read on her phone, because my phone, after so long, maybe it's with Streamlabs, I don't know what it is. It will just stop showing the chats completely. And then with the angle, right, I can't even see the screen. I'd have to get up and go see it. And then that means I got to stop cutting and possibly lose where we are. And I doubt that's any good. Anything?
Nope.
Oh, cool. And if anybody's got any questions, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to answer anything. Well, maybe not anything, but I'd be more than happy to answer what I can answer. And, you know, hopefully had the knowledge to answer. So, don't ask me about the birds and the bees, because I only know about the Pepsis and the Cokes. That was so lame. Golly, just ignore I said that. That's embarrassing. My face is turning red. That was bad. Okay. Somebody get that little shepherd's crook and pull me off stage for my own good. Ain't that right, Laura? You know that's not nice, Laura. You're supposed to be in my corner, babe.
I am in your corner.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not lying to you.
Well, good. I don't want you to lie to me. Wait a minute. Why I oughta.
You wanna love me?
Yeah. One of these days. Right in the kisser. Give you a kiss right in the kisser.
No, just kisses.
kiss right in the kisser, give you a kiss on the lips.
Yep.
Well, let's see. It looks like, ooh, that one didn't squeak that loud. I like that. It looks like we have done that right there. Hold on. I see dust. All right. So we got the, that was my stomach, pardon. But we got the gemstone cut for the pavilion meeting the center point. Now we have to cut at a 45.5. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our digital angle display. We're going to put ourselves at 45.5, 0. Make sure that's at 0. Take that off, and we're going to go back to the rough plate, and we're going to do this process all over again. Now, you may ask, why is that? Well, here is the deal. We got this all nice, pretty, and polished, right? Well, we're going to go ahead and cut a new set of facets in there to give a little extra to the design. And then after that, we're going to have to cut through with all the other ones. So why don't I do the first initial set and then go to the other ones and other ones and other ones with each individual plate? Well, sometimes I do that if they're not going to cross each other, right? And what I mean by cross each other is you have to cut into this to get the other one to look right. Well, when it comes to doing that, let's say I went ahead and did all that. When I come back to the 1200, right, and do some scratch removal with that, it's actually going to take away from the previous facet I did, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them kind of in the order where they don't intersect with each other. And if they do, it's just like at a meet point, which a meet point's where two facet points meet, like that. So it looks kind of like a triangle, and it meets here. And then another one will come down, and it'll meet here, right? That's called a meet point. It's where these meet, right? And when they meet, they don't interlap over each other. So I can go ahead and just cut all those together, right? Because they're not going to cut into each other. But let's say I got this, right? And I have to take a piece of that out. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and polish this part, right, all the way, and then cut that piece out. So that way I can just focus on this, because if I have to come back and polish and scratch remove on this, it's going to move down, right? We don't want to do that. We want to keep our meet points as perfect as we can get them. I hope that makes sense. I know it's a little complicated, and I ain't the best person to be describing none of this, because Lord knows I confuse myself sometimes. Probably be better if I did it on like a whiteboard, you know, kind of like a, was it a classroom kind of setting. You think it'd be good if I did a classroom setting, Lil?
I don't know how you're going to do that.
I ain't got a classroom, do I?
Nope.
Let's see. Now we're going to lower this down. Ooh, lowered it down a little too much. Okay. Alright, so we got this right here. What we're going to do, we're going to lower this down until it touches this plate. Alright, so it's touching the plate now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to do just a little initial kind of grind into it without the plate even on. And what that's going to do is that can tell me what facet I'm cutting next in the diagram, right? So that kind of gives me an idea. Oh, it's this facet. I need to cut to these two certain meet points and things like that, right? So it's before you do too much damage to the stone, right? You take too much real estate away. The good thing is you can always cut away stone, can never add stone. So you need to be careful, especially with new designs, right? So let's go ahead and turn this on. Get this water running some. So we don't want to rub too much because this is a diamond plate lap. So what it'll do is if you rub too much and get this metal hot, it will actually loosen up the diamonds out of it and they'll just fly off the lap. So we definitely don't want to do that. And we're just going to cut. And see how we just made it meet right there? With this right here? That's all we have to do for that set of facets. And I'm going to take out my little monocle looking thing. My 10 times loop. And we're just going to do it for every single one of them. And I'm going to raise it back up. And now I'm going to lower it and check it out. It needs to be a little bit more. I'm just going to let a little more cut off of it. We're just going to check it out until it fits. And that is why we just do a little at a time. You don't have to do a lot. You do a lot, you risk messing things up. Right there. See, and I even cut way too little on that. So we're going to cut it back here. And then we're going to look at it. Still too little. There we go. Look at it again. Still a little bit too little, so maybe a smidge. And again, people aren't going to see these minor things, right? They're not even necessarily going to know what's going on with it, but you do. And that's the important thing. You know. Right? So try to get it as perfect as possible. Because I'm sure y'all, if you put your name on something, you probably want it to look good, right? So I don't want people going, oh yeah, so and so works on gemstones. Is he any good? Eh. You know what I mean? So there we go. So we got those. Now, we got our next set. And our next set can most definitely be cut without interlapping into our previous set. So we can go to our next set without changing laps and going through that whole set. Our whole set of laps for those sets of facets. I don't think the next set cut crosses into those either. It looks like we're good until line 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to move through these facets until we get to line 5. Now, I may have to use the cheater a little bit. What the cheater is this little dial here, and it helps you get little minor angles around that you wouldn't want to fully go with your little index wheel, right? So it's like a mini index wheel that helps you cut in increments in between the index wheel. So, and it helps you keep everything nice, even, good. So, let's see. We'll probably do 1. Turn that on. And since I already know the next set, from looking at the diagram, we don't really have to dive too deep into that, but I will cut them a little at a time. So we got 1. See, I already messed something up. Look at her. I have to put it to 57. I got so busy talking, I didn't listen. But that's why I cut a little at a time, because I saw this don't look right. So we're moving from 45 to 57 now. We're going to move that back. Fortunately, we didn't cut too much away to where ruin things. Now, as you can see, space is getting a little tight. I think we can still work around that for right now. And the next set, we're definitely going to have to move that. We're definitely going to have to move this out the way for the next set. So. You okay?
Yeah, I just need to stretch.
Let's see. Now look at that. It looks crooked, right? This is where we might need to have to do our cheater, right? And what our cheater does is, again, it moves it. See this how it's like that? We don't want that. We want it sitting like that. So we're going to have to move that cheater. Thank you. And move it up in there like that so we can kind of get that flattened out, right? Because we surely do not want it sitting like that. So let's go ahead. We got that. I'm going to move back here. So I feel like we've done our part. And what we're going to do, because we do want it angled a little bit like this, because we're going to come back around and cut it flat with the other side. I know it's kind of hard to see, but we will get it looking right, trust me. So we're just going to get that meet point right there. So if y'all are interested in lapidary or faceting in general, please let me know. You know, I'm more than willing to help you out, give you some knowledge. If you got some ideas on some videos that you'd like me to make, like where to get rough from, things like that, be more than willing to make videos like that, post them on the channel, because I would like to see lapidary, especially in the United States, grow. It's a dying thing, you know, and it shouldn't be, because I think there's a lot of good-minded people out there that can do this, and it definitely blow me out the water for sure. So let's not let this art form die, especially in the United States. You know, the more I talk to, you know, people out there that love gemstones, they love the fact that, you know, I'm a local faceter. They're like, I have to talk to somebody in Pennsylvania, you know, states away, to get my stones faceted. You know, so trust me, there's a market out there for people who are minded for it, if they want to. So let's not make this die. Beautiful, beautiful. I think it's turned out to be very well. A little bit more on that. Almost to the nth degree perfect. So when I do something like this, I get really excited because I love doing something really well, especially with something like this, because I'm, you know, just never thought I'd be doing something this fancy. So what we're doing is we're just gonna cut this down pretty much the same way, but you see it's on this side right now, right? What we're going to do is we're just going to lower that down to meet this facet here, right? We're going to just lower it down. it takes. That's all it takes, y'all. Let's see. We're going to take this and lower it down again. And I've had some people talk about maybe doing a video game channel for when we're not faceting. And I'll think about it. I know I'm a big, I love playing D&D with my friends and stuff like that. We don't really get to play that much anymore. But I'm looking back into maybe doing something like that, doing some D&D campaigns would be some fun things. So if that's something that people would be interested in too, might be a pretty fun thing. And this is a pretty time-consuming process, but I'm telling y'all, if you get it down pat, trust me, you'll find family members you never knew you had. That's for sure. You will find people that you never knew was relation. Because people, they really love this stuff, man. Alright, so let's see. We're at 23. We need to go to 25 now. Now I cut further this time, right? Well, I cut further this time because I'd already had somewhat of a depth on it. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, I'm going to put the cheater back at my zero, personal zero. And I'm going to have to make a video on all this though. What's a personal zero? Everything like that. Video on all this. Let's see, and I'm going to go back to, what was that, 23? You can go back to 23 and just make sure we're sharpened up here, right? Make sure we're all lined up. What we're doing is we're making sure that that new facet line is meeting our previous facet lines, right? And we want to get it as close as possible, which I think we did. So that's our new sets of facets right there. And it runs along the line for our previous facet up here. When we polish it, it's going to look like it belongs, right? Obviously right now it's in a rough form, and I know I can't really show it that well, again, live stream, but I will make a video of us doing this kind of thing and kind of explaining everything as best I can to you. All right, so we got 25. So now we're gonna move to 47. 47. I'm gonna raise it back up again and do a little cut. Alright, looks like everything's okay, and then we're going to run it down again until we get it to its meet point. Now, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel out. We're going to be doing more stuff. Like I said, I got to make more videos on stuff like this, and having y'all depending on me to make the videos will encourage me to do it. You know. So it really does help us out. And if you want to talk, feel free to talk. You know, it does make the time pass by quicker when I get to talk with people when I'm doing this. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're like fraction of a millimeter off. Still a little much, And I do plan on possibly doing a D20 in the future and making sets of those for people and my family and stuff like that. Maybe do a giveaway one too. That might be pretty fun, you know. All right, let's see. We got 47, so we need to do 49. And again, we got our set height already. So let's go ahead. If we got to move down, we got to move down. If we don't, we don't, and that's great either way. And we don't. So that facet was pretty much dead on right there. No adjustment needed. Right there. When things come together, they come together good. When they don't, they don't. So let's keep moving on, and hopefully we stay on the right side of things when it comes to this. So we're gonna lift it up, cut a little bit, and now we're gonna cut deeper. Because again, we can't remove, or we can't add stone, but we can definitely remove stone. So the only way to correct a mistake is pretty much to recut it over again. And the last thing I want to do is have to recut into the stone completely. So, because it's too pretty to be doing that to it. But I'm going to keep looking at it with my little 10 times. I don't know if you can see the little 10 times here. I'm going to keep looking at it with my 10 times, and we're going to keep inching towards it. We're getting pretty close. I will say, if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. It will help the channel out. We're going to do some geode cuttings and stuff like that in the future too. So we're going to have a little bit of lapidary for everybody. And I got to order some new wheels for my Cab King, but when I do, we'll make some more gemstone handled knives and stuff like that. And I do want to make some mother of pearl pistol grips for a replica 1911. And I was in the 2nd Marine Division, and what I want to do is I want to make a mother of pearl handled silver nickel pistol 1911 and donate it to the 2nd Marine Division, and have the Battle of Tarawa written on it. So that way, it's almost kind of like a, you know, a nice little thing for the 2nd Marine Division, but also it was a pretty important battle for the 2nd Marine Division during World War II, and it's, I don't know, my way of contributing to the little thing they got there. Cause I haven't been there in a long time, but I remember there's like a little museum on base, or at least used to be, for the 2nd Marine Division, and it was, I mean, I only stepped foot into it once, because there's always officers around it, and as a Lance Corporal, the last thing I wanted to be is around officers. You know, so it was just one of those things. I rarely ventured in there, but I think I stepped foot in there once, and one of the first things was talking about the Battle of Tarawa. So we're going to do a little cut there. See how that's going. Alright, I'm going to have to lift up some, and we'll cut it in increments. And see how we're back at the front now, and we're making those cuts now. We're making those cuts now, and we're making that cut come together. So let's look at it. Alright, it's starting to meet that facet, so we're good there. We just want now our center facets to meet. Not me overshooting it. Let's see. Let's get some light on that there. I think we got it, y'all. I think that's our set right there. We got it. Beautiful. It almost looks like a pyramid, to be honest. It's very cool. So, what we're going to do now is I'll probably call it for tonight because my back is starting to kill me a little bit. Not kill me, but you know what I mean. It's starting to aggravate me and hurt me. But what I will ask you to do is like and subscribe if you haven't. I will finish this up. And we will post a video of it once it's all finished. It might be a short. But what I will do is for everybody who's still here and would like to, after you like and subscribe, or we'll pray first and then you can do it. But I'd like to say a little prayer for everybody here. I always like to end out the live stream in a prayer. So whoever's here, they want to pray with us, you can bow your head. If not, you're more than welcome to leave. So let's go ahead, bow our heads, and pray. Dear Heavenly Father, I'd like to ask that if anybody is not saved today, that they search into your word and find a relationship with you, and that they do get saved, and it will help bring peace into their life and a love and understanding like they've never known before. I'd also like to pray that if they're not saved today, that they do get saved so they can enjoy the kingdom of heaven and we can all enjoy it together and have a big old time. I would like to say that if anybody is dealing with turmoil or strife or pain in any way, that you wrap your loving arms around them and you look after them and nurture them and guide them through it. I'd also like to say that I am appreciative of everybody who's shown up today, who's talked with us today, who's watched and who's even left. Doesn't matter. I'm appreciative of all of it. But most importantly, I want to say, let your will be done. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. So everybody, we'll talk to you later. And I'm going to tell you, just like my preacher used to tell me, as much as I love you, God loves you more. And we'll see you next week.